Junkies, what's your function? Can't be anybody in the United States of USURY's fault. Supply chain disruption. There's not enough longshoremen to unload the gazillion bazillion ships for this consumption Jeff Bezos click freak show. Stop consuming! Okay, let's get to the hard numbers. I don't do opinion. Consumption junkies, what's your function? United States, consumption, gluttonous freaking, whoa. 1980, United States was considered gluttonous with global consumption, consuming 12% of the world's gross product. 12%. It's a lot, right? Well, that when we make up less than 4% of the world's population, we've broke the consumption record now every year since then. Every single year. We're consuming. We were at 44 to 46%, somewhere in there until COVID, the pandemic. We're consuming over 50, and I want you to think about that. Over 50% of the gross world product. The GGP, the gross global product. 50% we make up less than 4%. Not to mention the lowest grade fuel possible is in those ship containers. Just annihilating. Mix that up with some Fukushima, which I named Fuktonium. The ocean doesn't have a chance. Dead tide pulls at your feet. Oh my God. Them longshoremen need to go to work on the weekends. They need to work 24/7. I've watched this whole thing evolve. You're right there in San Diego. There was never really a consumption port there in San Diego. It was, fishing. Of course, then the Navy slowly got bigger and bigger. Over the last decade, you wouldn't believe how many cranes have went up there. We've increased freaking longshoremen dramatically. It's like cars in the U.S. Well, COVID come from China? Yeah. A lab? I think it came from the Fukushima disaster. Got into a fish. The very first hypothesis was the horseshoe bat ate the fish. And somebody ate the horseshoe bat and it leaped. The virus leaped from animal to human. Now, horseshoe bats have one of the highest immune systems on the face of the earth. And it's irony because the other one is also called horseshoe. They're called crab. The horseshoe crab is our medicine, and we don't even protect those. You think about that in the Chesapeake. The blue bloods. Just think about the crab collapse on the coast. Go talk to a longshoreman in NoCal. Go talk to a fisherman in Northern Cal. You can go right to the same port and talk to them both. I used to do it all the time. COVID's kind of hurt my activism a little bit. I'll be back at it soon. Most likely be in Washington, D.C. soon. Light the Night's coming up. Be my 10-year mark. So, and everybody's just, Jeff Bezos, Amazon. You think about it, every single .com went broke. Look up Bezos' grandfather, guys. All roads lead to Los Alamos. Einstein. Plutonium, livermorium, tennesseum. How many elements now have gone into the periodic table? Post-Fukushima? Well, the big one should cover the whole thing. Plutonium! Consumption junkies! Sitting around, click, stop. Well, you can consume. Buy used stuff. Buy used. I got that for 50 cents at the thrift store in Pacific Grove. Buy used! The young people do it. Buy used. Stop consuming. Stop consuming. Buy used. Go to your thrift stores. You can sit around, click. You can do it on eBay. You can do it on freaking thing. Stop consuming. Can't figure out. Well, the ships, it's like Somebody said, God, all these trucks are going into Idaho National Lab. I says, here's the article. Indian Point nuclear waste is going there. What? Huh? I mean, there's no investigative journalists left. Well, they killed their newspapers, the internet. Oh, God, that was Bezos again? He's got the Washington Post? You got me, but they kettle me up. Kettle you. Consumption junkies. Again, in 1940 class, this is my class, when I taught in the #1 MBA program, well, undergraduate program, that went into MBA that got destroyed, who's dead last now. Taken over by, it's a Chinese supply chain university now. Don't go see the Dalai Lama. So, it's about supply chain from China. I told Damian Lillard right to his face, I says, hey, you new shoes, new jersey, every game. I says, those little kids in those factories over there sewing, making their little fingers getting awful tired. What about the, anti-usury aspect about it? I thought Christianity was based fundamentally on anti-usury. What about the morality issue of who's making all these goods? Who's packaging these goods over there? What about that? Unconscious. Just totally unconscious. 1945 to 1979 class. Name me the strongest middle class socialist people in the face. Well, anytime. Start over. Class, name the strongest middle class, happiest middle class in human history. Give me the place and the time. Along the Silk Road, 1st and 2nd century. Close. Europe, some parts of Europe today. Close. The United States, 1945 to 1979. There were no billionaires. Tax rate was 99% when you got to a certain freaking level. Tariffs, 400%. I like how Trump used his tariffs as a weapon. We should have placed 400%. Well, that's far-fetched. This country always used tariffs. I mean, we go clear back to Alexander Hamilton. Before the Constitution that got shredded, Patriot Act. The Tariff House, the Tariff Act. What was the Tariff Act? 1774, I believe. Even before we signed the Declaration of Independence. Then it was reaffirmed in 1770. To incentivize homemade goods. To pay off the war debt. Here we go again on the fighting over the debt ceiling. I remember 2011. This is important. When they were having the same debate right as Fukushima happened. Right, the same month after Fukushima happened, they just lied and lied and lied and lied. It came down to a sacrificial lamb. Just political make a stand idealism. That means nothing. I'm the guy that termed they want to kill Bert and Ernie. It came down, we're going to pull the plug on public television, pull the funding out of it, or pull the food inspectors out, which we were so limited. Oh yeah, right at Fukushima. They pulled the food section out. Look it up. Hillary Clinton. I'm the one that put those emails out there. Take a shower. The plume's coming over. It's too dangerous. Got to go see Henry before I go to Fukushima. The only country on earth that allowed all imports to come in here from Fukushima, the United States. The rest of the world still has it banned to this day. It's the #1 story in the world. So I should be at the peace vigil ASAP. I need to get that thing straightened out. Thank Craig. Working those nights. God, I don't know how he does it. So, consumption junkies, what's your function? Consumption junkies, what's your function? Remember that? When PBS put educational content on Saturday morning cartoons? Now look at it. What a freak show. Look in the mirror. Quit blaming the world. You're poisoning the planet with your consumption paradigm. You should see it in Europe and Italy. They have billboards in Italy all over talking about the overconsumption. You should see that these Muppet-type characters dancing. You want to be and they use some pretty stiff language going after the United States. You want to be one of those? Bleep, 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 bleeps. You been to the United States and seen it? Bleep, 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 bleep. Go ahead. Not here. Stop consuming. Stop consuming. Buy used. Stay tuned.